Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So my name is Sam, and every single Tuesday and Thursday I do post more videos and occasionally a bonus video here and there. So make sure that you subscribe so you get a notification every single time I post. So with that being said, today we're going to talk about basically 5 different questions that you can ask yourself when you're trying to declutter. So basically, if you're debating, like, should I keep this or should I not keep this? Asking yourself these 5 questions will help you put it in either one of those categories. So the very first question is, if I moved, would I bring this with me? Simple as that. Because if you wouldn't bring it to your future home, then that tells you probably don't value it enough to have it in your home currently. So for example, let's say, I don't know, like this pillow behind me or something like that. Maybe I would throw it out or I would give it away when moving to my other home because I wouldn't want to, accumulate that stuff. So if that's the case, I might as well just purge it now. But if it does bring me value and I do enjoy it and I will bring it to my future home, then by all means, keep it now. Now, number 2 is, if this broke, would I buy another? So for example, let's say, actually a perfect example is a couple weeks ago, my diffuser broke, right? So I absolutely love my diffuser. I use it all the time with like essential oils and stuff like that. So I went ahead and I bought another one right when it broke. But some people, when something will break, if you don't value it and you don't utilize it, you'll be like, oh well, it broke, no big deal. I'm just gonna throw it out. And then you won't buy another one. So why wait until it breaks for you to throw it out? Just get rid of it now and start decluttering your house that way. Also, like a kind of side note on top of that, if it's already broken and you're keeping it to say like, oh, one day I'm gonna fix it, maybe just get rid of it now. Don't hold on to things that are broken. Just go ahead, get a new one or fix it right in this moment. All right, so number 3 is, when did I use this item last? So you'll hear this in so many of my other videos. I talk about this, I'm like a broken record. I say, set a threshold of when you use that item. So for example, let's say 6 months time, you haven't used that item. That might tell you that you don't need that item in your life. If you've went 6 months without this item, might not need it. So set that threshold for yourself. Now, a couple kind of, again, caveats to that, exceptions to that, is if, let's say, you have seasonal items, like this pillow that I was talking about before. I only take it out during the summer months because it's like lemonade and stuff like that. In the fall, I pull out fall stuff. And actually, I have a video coming in a couple weeks once it gets a little fall, more like fall time. I have a video that will show you kind of how I decorate my minimalistic house in like a fall style. So stay tuned for that one in a few weeks. But regardless, if let's say you only use something seasonal, well, maybe it won't hit that 6-month threshold, but it still brings you value. So there's a couple caveats to that. You don't need to throw something out just because it doesn't hit that 6-month. Also think about though, like how much value it gives you, even if you only use it here and there. So that actually brings me to the following point of question number 4. And question number 4 is, does this bring you happiness? As well as, why am I holding on to this? Because let's say that the item is, I don't know, maybe a card that someone significant gave to you. Maybe they've passed on since then, and you want to keep this card because it's one of your like fondest memories from them. It's something that you can look back on, you could read that card and connect with them on that level. So maybe you only take this out once a year on their birthday to connect and, recollect on that memory. But just because it doesn't hit that 6-month threshold, it doesn't mean that it's not worth keeping, because it brings you sentimental value. So when I talk about, does this bring you value? It could bring you value actually like physically, like a can opener. It's valuable because it opens your cans. It does this. It has a purpose. But also an emotional thing could also have purpose too. So think about things in that utilitarian aspect, but also that sentimental, like emotional aspect as well. And then your 5th and final question is, do I have another item in this house that does the exact same purpose? Meaning, do you have duplicates? Do you have triplets of the same thing? Do you have 4 of the same things, 5 of the same things? Let's say you have, I don't know, maybe you have 4 different hairbrushes. They all do the same thing. there's no need for 4 different hairbrushes. So say to yourself, okay, let me pick my favorite hairbrush and then let me get rid of all of the rest. Same with, sometimes we have like 47 different spatulas. There's no need for 47 different spatulas. They all do the same thing. They all flip pancakes. So we don't need all those different items. So ask yourself, do I have another item in this house that does the same exact thing? If so, then you can think about purging those items as well. So now on top of those 5 different points, there's kind of a 6th different point that I actually thought about as I was filming this. So we're still gonna call it 5 points, but I'm just gonna give you guys a bonus point. And this point is if you have a monetary value that you can assign to the item, and then you have the item and you prefer that monetary value, then that tells you that you probably could purge this item. So for example, let's say, I don't know, like this pillow that I talked about before, right? Maybe it's 10, 15 bucks, I don't know. Let's say I put this on Facebook Market and I could get those $10, $15 for it. If I rather that $10, $15 and I was like, oh, I could use that, then I could go get a pizza, or I could do this, or I could use something else with that money, or I could just save that money and invest the money, or whatever the case is, then that tells me that I probably don't value this item as much as I should. So maybe that's an idea to get rid of it. And maybe then you should put that in your, yes, I should purge this item list. So on top of that, also think about the same concept when you're going to buy things and say like, okay, once I buy this, would I rather have that monetary value, or would I rather have this thing cluttering up my home? Or will it actually bring me value and not clutter up my home? Think about that as well, but that kind of helps you not necessarily declutter your house, but make sure that it doesn't become cluttered, if that makes sense. So just keep those ideas in mind. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you're planning on using any of these questions to help purge in your own life, definitely comment below. Let me know how this goes. But with that being said, hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye guys.